the mind immediately recoils. The mind says, if nothing I do matters, why do anything? If everything is predetermined, why make any effort? But these protests arise from a fundamental misunderstanding. There is no personal entity at all. There never has been. The sense of being a separate individual with the power to make things happen or prevent things from happening is itself just another event arising in consciousness, just another appearance in the functioning of totality. Look at what happens in your direct experience right now. Thoughts are appearing. Are you producing these thoughts? Can you stop the next thought from arising? You might say yes, you can decide to think about something specific. But where did the decision to decide come from? Where did the thought to control your thoughts originate? When you trace any thought, any impulse, any decision back to its source, you find that it simply appeared. It arose in the space of awareness, without your permission, without your authorship. You are not thinking your thoughts. Thoughts are being thought through this body-mind apparatus. The same mechanism applies to everything we call action. An intention arises. Where did it come from? You did not manufacture it. It appeared. Energy moves through the body in response to that intention. Did you create that energy? Did you design the neurological pathways that convert intention into muscle movement? The body responds, the action unfolds, and then the mind claims ownership by saying, I did that. But this ownership is claimed after the fact, not before. Consciousness identifies with a particular body-mind organism. It contracts into the sense of being a separate me. It naturally assumes it is the author of that organism's thoughts and actions. This assumption feels absolutely real. It feels obvious. But when we investigate, when we look closely at the actual mechanics, we find no evidence of an independent entity pulling the levers. What is supposed to happen will happen. Look at your entire life up to this moment. Everything that has happened. Could it have been otherwise? The mind says yes, I could have made different choices. But could you have, really, given everything that you were in each moment, given all your conditioning, all your genetics, all your experiences, all your neurological patterns, all the external circumstances, could anything other than what happened have happened? When you look honestly, you see that every moment unfolded exactly as it had to unfold, given all the factors present. The future is not fixed in some predetermined script that already exists. In each moment, given all the causes and conditions present, only one outcome is possible. In the next moment, different causes and conditions will be present, and a different outcome will emerge. But in no moment is there a separate personal entity, standing outside the flow of causation, independently choosing what will happen. The personal entity is itself part of the causation, part of the flow, not separate from it. The mind struggles tremendously because the mind's primary function is to maintain the illusion of separation and control. The mind creates scenarios, makes plans, projects into the future, reviews the past, and constantly evaluates whether the personal entity is succeeding or failing at controlling life. But beneath this surface activity, life is simply functioning. The body breathes without your control. The heart beats without your decision. Food is digested without your management. Thoughts arise without your authorship. Actions unfold without your independent agency. The working mind is the natural intelligence that allows the body-mind organism to function appropriately in the world. This intelligence operates spontaneously. When someone throws a ball at your face, the body moves to catch it or duck without any deliberation from a personal controller. When you walk, you do not consciously manage each muscle movement. When you speak, words flow without you constructing each sentence in advance. The working mind operates perfectly well without any involvement from a personal doer. The thinking mind is the voice that comments on everything, that claims credit or assigns blame, that worries about the future and regrets the past, that constantly reinforces the sense that there is a me who must make the right choices to have a good life. The thinking mind is the source of all psychological suffering because it operates on a false premise. It assumes there is an independent entity who has the power to make things happen or prevent things from happening, and then it judges that entity based on outcomes. When the understanding arises that what is supposed to happen will happen, the tyranny of the thinking mind begins to dissolve. There is still thinking, still planning, still apparent decision-making. but the heavy burden of personal responsibility for making it all turn out correctly falls away. Life continues to unfold. Actions continue to happen through this body-mind organism, but there is no longer the exhausting effort of trying to control the uncontrollable. No one can do anything about it. When it is clearly seen that there is no personal entity who could do anything about anything, what is there to be anxious about? What is there to regret? What is there to feel guilty about? The entire structure of personal suffering collapses because that structure requires a personal doer who is responsible for making life work out properly. Consider guilt. Guilt requires the belief that I could have and should have acted differently than I did. But when we look at any action we feel guilty about, we find that in the moment it occurred, given everything present in that moment, including all our conditioning, all our unconscious patterns, all our limitations, that action was the only possible outcome. Could a deeply conditioned response that has been reinforced for 30 years suddenly not happen just because we wish it wouldn't? The wishing itself is part of the conditioning. The guilt about the action is part of the conditioning. All of it arising and dissolving in consciousness without a personal author. Pride and achievement work the same way. When something we value occurs through this body-mind organism, the mind says, I accomplished this, I made this happen, I deserve credit. But when we trace the accomplishment back, we find that it emerged from a confluence of factors entirely beyond personal control. The talent was inherited, not chosen. The opportunity arose from circumstances not created by this entity. The energy and health were present, not manufactured. The supportive environment existed, not built from scratch. The knowledge was absorbed from teachers and books encountered, not invented independently. Every single factor necessary for the accomplishment was given, not taken. The accomplishment happened through this organism, not because of a personal achiever residing within it. Understanding operates on two dimensions. On the horizontal level, in the practical domain of daily functioning, we speak and act as if we are individuals making choices. We say, I will go to the market, or I decided to read this book. This is functional language, necessary for navigating the world of apparent separation. This is the level of appearance. On the vertical level, in the dimension of understanding, we recognize that all the horizontal activity is the functioning of consciousness, that there are no separate entities doing anything, that what appears as personal choice is actually the impersonal unfolding of cause and effect through body-mind organisms. Both levels are valid in their context. The confusion arises when we take the horizontal level as ultimate truth and then suffer because we believe we should be able to control outcomes. When suffering arises, when there is anxiety about making the right decision, when there is guilt about past actions, when there is pride demanding recognition, shift from the horizontal to the vertical. Remember that there is no personal doer. Everything is the functioning of totality. What is supposed to happen will happen regardless of what this apparent entity thinks about it. This understanding does not lead to passivity in the functioning. If it is in the nature of this body-mind organism to be active and engaged, activity will continue. If there is natural compassion, compassionate action will flow. If there is energy for work, work will happen. But all of it will unfold without the interference of a separate entity trying to control the process, trying to make sure it happens correctly, trying to take credit or avoid blame. There is just the spontaneous response of this organism to whatever arises, moment by moment. The entire question of free will versus determinism is a false dichotomy, a mental construction that assumes there is a personal entity who either has or lacks the freedom to choose. When the personal entity is seen through as an illusion, the question dissolves. There is no one to have or lack free will. There is only the functioning of consciousness, expressing itself through billions of apparently separate forms, each one convinced it is independently acting, but all of it one seamless movement. In the tradition of Advaita Vedanta, passed from Siddharameshwar Maharaj to Nisargadatta Maharaj to Ramesh Balsekar, this understanding is communicated with fierce directness. The seeking is not your doing. The questions you ask arise from consciousness. Even the understanding, when it comes, is not your achievement. This teaching offers no foothold for the ego, no way for the personal identity to use spiritual knowledge to improve itself. The teaching is not about becoming a better person or achieving a higher state. The teaching is the recognition that the person was never real to begin with. What you are seeking, you already are. You are not a limited person who needs to find freedom. You are the freedom in which the appearance of a limited person arises. You are not a doer who needs to learn how to act correctly. You are the witnessing awareness in which the entire play of doing and not doing appears. The recognition that no one can do anything about what happens is not a limitation. It is the revelation of what you truly are, the unchanging awareness in which all happening occurs. When this understanding becomes living understanding, not just intellectual knowledge, there is a profound relaxation. Life continues exactly as it did before. Thoughts arise, actions happen, circumstances unfold, but the relationship to all of it transforms. There is no longer the constant tension of trying to make life conform to the mind's preferences. There is no longer the weight of being responsible for controlling the uncontrollable. There is simply what is, arising and dissolving, moment by moment, all of it, the perfect functioning of consciousness. What is supposed to happen will happen. What is not supposed to happen will not happen. No one can do anything about it. Look at your actual experience and see if you can find the independent entity you have assumed yourself to be. Look for the thinker of your thoughts, the chooser of your choices, the doer of your actions. What you will find, if you look honestly, is that there is awareness in which all of this appears, but there is no separate entity controlling any of it. There is just the functioning, spontaneous and natural, appearing in the space of what you are. If this understanding resonates, if there is recognition here, consider deepening this exploration by subscribing to this channel. We are a study group dedicated to non-duality and self-knowledge, investigating these profound teachings together. Share your insights or questions in the comments, as your engagement helps this understanding reach others who are ready to hear it. This is genuine inquiry into the nature of what we are, beyond all concepts and beliefs. What becomes available when we truly investigate is clear seeing. When we see that what is supposed to happen will happen, we lose nothing real. We only lose the exhausting burden of pretending to be in control of a life that has always been living itself. And in that loss, we discover what has always been here, the peace of our true nature, prior to all doing and not doing, complete and whole exactly as it is.